welcome back, guys. So let's start applying textures to this. So let me just minimize this, just push this aside. Okay, so I'm going to, let me just do a quick save for this. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Windows and then Hypershade, rendering Hypershade. And I'm going to bring in all my textures in here, at least for the bat. Let's start with the bat graph. So I'll select this bat, I'll Control 1 to isolate that. In our Arnold render view, I'll click on the isolate, select also. Then on the Hypershade, let me start plugging the materials that we need for this. But before we do that, let me just put it this way. Let me do this one by one so it's much easier to comprehend. So for the base color, I'm just going to click on this and click on file. Okay, so it has plugged in a file texture node in there. Then I import a file in here. So I'm going to be using the bloody texture instead, the bloodstain texture instead. So I'll copy these 5 parts, paste that in here. So that will be the base color. I'll start with the base color. So the base color should go in there. Okay, let me do a quick save. So sRGB is fine. Then I'll select the AI standard surface node, and I'll go to roughness. So in here I'm going to plug in my roughness map. Then I'll plug in a 5 texture in there. So it should be this bat roughness. Okay, that should be fine. Then I'm going to change this color space to raw. Scroll down to this color balance. Color balance should be alpha is luminance. Let me just shrink this like so. Color balance should be alpha is luminance. Okay, let me select that node. I'll go to my render view. I'll fire up my render. So it's already on isolate selected already. So that should just show us just the roughness map just itself for us to kind of manipulate. Okay, it looks fine. This is a roughness map. Let me just check this again. Let me select this. I think I'm missing something. Let me just select just this bat alone. Okay, let me use the render region for this. Then on our Hypershade, we just select that roughness map alone. Yes, much better. Now we can see it now. So I think I'm going to brighten this up. So I'll go to color balance. Maybe take the exposure up a bit more. Probably somewhere around there should be fine. I'll select the bat again. Let me just come here and select the bat in here. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let me do a quick save on the scene. So now I've plugged in the color map and our roughness map. So let's plug in our normal map. So let me, but for this I'm going to get I need to get a closer view on this. We need a closer view to kind of see if our normal map is working correctly or not. Let me try and shrink this down a bit more, like so. And I'll kind of go in here. Around here should be fine. So let me just minimize this. So if I go to the our hyper shading here, so to use the normal map, we need to bring in an AI normal map node. So hit tab on the keyboard, AI normal map. Okay. So let me just drag this in here. The out, let me just see, check this. Already have this mapped out in here. So I can kind of show you guys the general setup for this. So the normal map AI node should be, the out value should be plugged to normal camera. So out value should be plugged to normal camera. Then we need to bring in the normal map in here. So what we see here now, back normal map, normal OpenGL map. So I'll just drag and drop this in here. Then all we have to do is to plug the out color to the inputs. Out color should go to inputs. Okay. Then we can fire up our render now to kind of see how that is affecting our model. See right off the bat, see how the normal map is already affecting the model. You can see it in there now. We can even do a comparison for this. So if I should, let's say I select this and then just unplug that, then we kind of compare. So this is how it is before. Let me just do a snapshot. Do a snapshot around here. So do a snapshot now. I'll go back in there and I'll just plug this to normal cam. Then you can see the difference now. Let me just minimize this again. So I take another snapshot of this and stop our render view. You can see the difference now. You can see the drastic difference after adding our normal map in there correctly with the AI normal node. Okay, that's fine. So now what we need to do next is to bring in our displacement shader. So let's use our displacement. You know, we exported a displacement shader, a displacement map from ZBrush. Let's kind of use this in here now. Let me just do a quick save. So there's a particular setting you have to use for this. So in here, let me just drag this up all the way. Then I'll drag this shading engine downwards like so. So hit the tab key, then displacements should be AI displacement shader. Okay, displacement shader. This is it in here. So it comes with its own shading engine too. So all we have to do is select the shading engine and delete that. They say it's connected to the displacement shader here. So this node should be connected to this displacement shader here for this engine, the one that we named AI BAT. So let me delete this. Now plug the out alpha to, okay, no, let me just plug. I'll just plug this. No, let me just plug. Since I've made a mistake in, okay, yeah, better now. It's there now. So we'll plug this to displacement shaders. Now let's bring in our displacements for the bats. So we exported them into Z exports, Z maps. So this is displacement map now. So I'll just drag this in here. Okay, then make sure select that texture file, make sure color mode is on raw, color balance alpha is luminance, that's fine. Then we're going to plug the out alpha to, because this is a black and white map, so we'll plug the out alpha to displacement. Okay, and there's still some settings we need to do in here though. So we need to go and select our bat material, our model. Then under Z bat low poly shape, click on Arnold, subdivision level, turn this, put this to cat clack. Let me just do a quick save on this. Okay, iterations can be on probably, let's leave it at one. Let's leave it at one. Displacement attribute, turn on auto bump. Now I need to change the value from scale out from 0 to 0.5. Though it completely depends, though it completely depends on where you spread out your maps from. But if you spread out from ZBrush, since 0.5 should be fine. Then if the intensity is just way too much, all we have to do is to adjust the height intensity. Let me just put this to 0.5. This should work just fine if you spread the map out. If you spread the map out from ZBrush, so let's kind of, so just to click that, just to go out of it. And let's fire up our render. Let me just do a quick save again on this. So let's kind of, let me fire up our render, but let me just drag crop region around here. And I'll fire up our render. Let's see what that gives us. Let's give this a moment to kind of calculate. Okay, I see something in there now, but to actually see this properly, let's kind of unplug. Let's unplug the normal map. So let me just, so I'll just unplug the normal map. So unplug the normal map. So let's just kind of visualize only the displacement map on the model itself, just to be sure if this is working correctly or not. So I've unplugged that from I've unplugged the node. So this is just the displacement map now. You can see how it's still affecting the model. Let me just do a crop region for this. Okay, you can see how it's still affecting our model. We can still intensify this a bit more. Let me just push this out of the way. If we select, let me select the displacement shader. So selecting the displacement shader, now the scale is fine. We can actually intensify this by, let me just select the bat model. Then under here, we can intensify that by, let me just put this around 2, height to 2. That should intensify that a bit more. I'm just trying to show you guys how drastic that would kind of change. Oh, Maya just crashed on me. I think I went too far on that. So I've kind of reloaded Maya again. So I think this is fine. I think I've illustrated how you can actually use, even if just only the displacement maps kind of drive the detailing, height detailing of your model, of your render actually, and of the model also. So that's completely fine. So it's the same process we're still going to be using for the other parts of our model. The same way we plugged in the materials in here, the same way we're going to plug the materials in there for the other maps also. And if you have displacement in there, you can always use that too. So maybe for this iteration for a displacement, I can use something around 2 in there. Okay, let me just do a quick save again before Maya crashes on me. Let me take this off and I'll do an isolate again. So it's okay. It's in there now. So this is how it looks like. So I'm not going to repeat the same process for the other parts of the model, and I'll come back when I'm done. Oh yes, something I forgot to mention. I'm working on the nails now. I'm working on the nails. So for the nails, this nails has metallic properties. So I'm going to increase this all the way up, and I'm going to plug in my metallic material for this. So nail metallic. I'll plug that in. Okay, then I would use, I'll turn this to, it should be on raw. Then color balance alpha is luminance. Okay, then for the roughness channel, just plug in my roughness map in there also. So roughness nail, make sure your color space is raw, alpha is luminance is turned on. Okay, that's fine. Let me just cross check this again to be sure this is on raw. Okay, that is on raw. Okay, then back to the hyper shade, right click and hold graph network. So we're going to be plugging in the AI normal map. Okay, it's basically the same process like before. Add value to this particular one. Does not need, we do not export displacement map from ZBrush. We didn't export displacement map from ZBrush, so we're only going to be using the normal map in here. Then the out color should be plugged to input. Okay, so that should be done for that. So let's just I don't think there'll be any need doing a quick render for that, but let's just do a quick render for that. Let's see how that turns out. Probably even isolate that. You can fire up our render for that. Yeah, we missed one thing. We're supposed to put this on raw. The normal map should be on raw. Normal map texture should be on raw. So let's select that normal map texture file, and this should be on raw. Okay, so after doing a render for that, you can see how the normal map is affecting it. Which is exactly what we need. So now let's just work on the ring and focus and then do some final renders for this. So I have everything all plugged in now. I don't think I'm using the displacement map for this ring and focus. You can if you want to, but I think the normal map should work just fine. Maybe I'll just click on the normal map and then probably strengthen this up to around 0.5. Okay, maybe I can, let's fire up our render view and let's see what that gives us. So this is what we have in here now. So this is fine. I'll just go out of isolate. Let me stop the render for now, and I'll bring everything back. Then I'll just go back to my camera view and just set the camera view. Okay. Then all I have to do is just to change the render setting and then just do a higher render for this. So I use the preset I was working with high. So I have something around here. You can also use the exact same setting. I don't have transmission in here, so I'll turn that to 0, SSS 0. Then on the commands tab, I'll just do render something around somewhere around 2K should be fine. Okay, now just go to my render view. It's my node render view. Let me just maximize this. Turn off the crop region. Click 1 to 1. Then I'll just fire this up and then just allow this render out. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.